Launch days are probably the most exciting days in the video game world, and we've got a big doozy of a day coming up with the Switch launch in March. But before we get there, let's talk about our favorite, craziest, best launch stories in Nintendo history. I'm Zach, and we've got Gabe and Jake here from Switch Force, and we each have a console of Nintendo's past that kind of had a really cool inception for us. And Gabe is going to kick it off with his Tales of N64 inauguration.
Warning, this story gets a little PG-13-ish. All right, so the Nintendo 64 came out in like 96. Well, in exactly 96, not like 96. Me and my friend, his name was Joel, we went to line up outside what, at the time, I believe was like Babbage's or something like that.
Okay. Bandages?
Babbage's.
Oh.
Or was it Sam Goody? I don't remember. One of those. It was inside of a mall, and like they were doing this like early morning opening because midnight openings weren't like a thing back then, as far as I can remember.
Okay.
I remember we went super early in the morning.
That is true, because my story involves the same like 5 a.m. wake up call.
Yeah. So we were like the 6 or 7 people in line. Like there was just quite a few in front of us, but like not a whole lot. I think in total it was only like 20 people like in line, something like that. Like it wasn't like hundreds or anything like you see now.
Right.
But we were in line and we had time to kill because they weren't opening the store for like another hour, and we were just sitting there talking about what we were going to do and you know how cool the controller is, and you know we didn't have enough money to buy 2 controllers because me and him were like buying it together really. Like we what we ended up doing was like doing a whole bunch of chores and like tasks like around our neighborhood to get enough money, and we were going to buy it. And it was going to be 1 week at his house, 1 week at my house.
No.
Yeah. So we were just, you know, we were talking. And you know, I was fine with him letting with him having it first. That wasn't where the problem originated. The problem originated was where he wanted to get Pilot Wings instead of Mario.
Oh
my
God!
I said no, that's not happening.
Of course not.
Happening. He's like, yes, like Mario's like so old, we can play that on the Super Nintendo. I said, do you understand how different this is?
Right.
I didn't say that. I'm sure I said it like in a 6-year-old version of me because I was 6 at the time.
You were 6 years old, and you did chores around the neighborhood at 6.
Yeah, like just like, you know, washing people's like cars, like nothing like heavy duty. Just
6? Because you even reach the handle on the car?
Yeah, dude. When you're 6, you're not like tight. Yes.
Wait, did your parents drop you off, or were your parents there?
No, just walk around the neighborhood. No, what parents?
No, I'm talking about the mall.
Joel's parents were with us, not my parents.
Okay.
Like they were like with us, but you know they were off to the side. They weren't paying attention.
So how did you resolve this very one-sided dilemma?
It ended up that we pushed each other. He's like, "No, we're gonna get Pilot Wings," and he pushed me. I said, "No, there's no way. It's Mario, and like he looks like 3D. Like no."
Right.
And we like pushed each other for a little bit. Then his parents came and separated us and said, "Hey, if you guys are gonna be doing that, we're gonna leave, and we're not gonna get anything." And that quieted, that shut us down quickly. So they made us say sorry. He's like, say sorry. And you know, we both said sorry. They're like, give each other a hug. We gave each other a hug. It was real nice. And then like he whispered, why can't we get Pilot Wings? I'm like, hey, it's over. We're getting Mario. And he's like, fine, whatever. I told him, like, it's at your house for the first week. Let me pick the game.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, and he's like, fine. And that's what it ended up being. But yeah, we ended up buying the Nintendo 64 and Mario 64, and we had a grand old time with it. I don't know where that console ever ended up. I know that eventually I was the one that like kept it for the longest time because when Ocarina of Time came out, I basically just kept it.
Gotcha. No, this is something like it's always interesting me to ask because we're so inundated with phones and internet, you don't even think about it. But like, how did you hear about the N64 or see Super Mario 64 or any of that stuff back then?
I don't know if you remember, but there was commercials on television.
Right. Okay. I figured it was either commercials or Nintendo Power.
Yeah, Nintendo Power and commercials on TV. That's how. So.
Very cool. Well, we'll move along in chronological order, and I will take you to the days of GameCube's birth. I was really excited for the GameCube. It was sort of when I feel like my most fun video game years, because I had the N64. You know, I played all of Ocarina of Time. I played all of Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, all those classics. And now I heard the GameCube was coming out via Nintendo Power mostly, and probably at that point, I think there was like the beginnings of the internet. I feel like I read some early reviews and news like that. I could be wrong, but I feel like I did. And I actually went to the Cube Club, which was like this pre-launch event, and you just signed up for it. remember, games were nowhere near as like whatever, like mainstream as they are now. So it was this event. It was in the basement of some like, I want to say almost like a where a Boy Scout like troop would gather for like like it was a brick building. Like this was no fancy place or anything. They weren't like whining and dining anyone. Anyways, and so me and my dad got there and we didn't know.
I was there.
No, you came on the late shift. Because me and my dad got up early to go line up, and I remember I had my Game Boy Advance. I played Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, in line waiting, and got in and was like, oh my god! Because at that point, obviously, I'd never been to an event. My experience of playing games outside my house was like the consoles at Target, which was also an amazing thing of the past.
Still happens, sort of.
And then inside, okay, Smash Brothers, Luigi's Mansion, Monkey Ball, Rogue Squadron, Pikmin. It was just like a massive, beautiful. I believe Pikmin was there. Could be wrong on that, but yes, Pikmin was there. I remember because it was in a special room. They had a very limited demo, whereas everything else was out in the open, and you could win prizes. They had contests. It was just like, for me, like my first experience of video game glory, and I didn't know anything about Monkey Ball, and I sort of was like, wow, Monkey Ball is actually really fun. That's where I learned about that for the first time. Played some Luigi's Mansion, got some Smash Bros. Rounds in, and then went home to get Jake, and we actually came back to the Cube Club and had Jake play. I think Jake played Luigi's Mansion and Smash Brothers.
Yep.
And then the fateful day finally came.
Wait, you forgot the best part of the Cube Club.
Oh, gosh,
the puzzle cubes that they gave out.
No. The puzzle cubes are good, but also, this is my dad's one shining moment.
I love the story.
They were giving away these epic Nintendo employee GameCube like zip up, like quarter zip polos, and it was like almost like a track jacket, but a short sleeve like track jacket, like polyester.
Yes.
Like top. Yeah. And it had the GameCube logo, and I was like, those are so sweet. Obviously, I was a shrimp. I was in 6th grade and very small. Believe it or not, I was like 5'1" then. And 5 feet, 5'1". And so I was like, that's not going to fit, but I love it. And I was too shy, though, to do the contest, which was to sing the national anthem. Very, very patriotic Nintendo back then. And so this kid was doing it, and he was, like, flubbing it up terribly. So my dad kept, like, filling in the blanks for him and trying to help him. And I believe my dad's goal was to, like, help this kid get it. Well, turns out they ended up giving it to my dad because he did most of the work, and so I ended up getting the shirt, and I wore it to school the next day, and man, I felt like such a badass. I felt so freaking cool. Like I was
your
like,
dad was the badass, to be clear.
Sure, but I felt like I've got this zip up. Okay, but like the part I forgot was like no internet, no Twitter, no real mainstream video gaming, so I don't think anyone even knew what it was because it wasn't out yet or anything. But I felt like I was like, this is only for Nintendo employees and blah blah blah. Anyhow, then the system comes out. And it was an early morning launch. I remember getting to Toys R Us at like 5:30 in the morning, and they opened at like 8 or something, waiting there with my dad. Kudos to my dad for doing a great job, and Jake was there. And Toys R Us was only going to let you go into the video game section. So, believe it or not, they had made a path out of boxes of GameCubes for you to like walk through. And like
get lost.
It was almost like going to like a cafeteria. You like, hey, do you want indigo, black, or spice? And I chose indigo. Kind of wish I would have chosen spice because those became really rare and like hard to find. Anyway, so I chose indigo. I chose this is where like my choice may have been bad, but I chose Rogue Squadron 2. And it was between Monkey Ball and Rogue Squadron 2. And I'm not sure why I chose Rogue Squadron 2 because I like in the back of my head I knew Monkey Ball was super fun from the Cube Club. Anyhow, chose Rogue Squadron 2. Brought the system home. My mom and grandma were over, and we unboxed everything and got our X-Wing game on. And it was a really, again, that was a great era because it was sort of that like that turning point of when video games became much more than just like a fun random distraction. I was reading all the magazines, looking up all the reviews, renting games, buying games, and just a really like that. That's probably my favorite launch of any console of all time.
Do you remember, I'm going to add on to a little bit later than launch, do you remember when you ordered Mario Sunshine and it was coming in the mail, and so literally every day, every time you saw the mail truck or like UPS or whatever it was, going down the street, you would run to the window and see if they were going to stop at our house to bring us Mario Sunshine.
It was even worse. We would do preemptive biking. We knew that the UPS guy came around 5 o'clock, so we'd start biking around the neighborhood and see if the truck was...
I just had when I was so little. You just were like, come with me, and I just did it.
We would just
preemptive biking.
Yeah, we would preemptively bike around because I ordered it via Nintendo Power because you got a Mario Sunshine shirt and strategy guide and the game for and a full year subscription for $60 or something. Yeah. So I just had filled out the little insert card and sent it in. So I had no tracking, no clue when this shipped, what was even happening. I knew the launch date, but I didn't know when it was coming. And so we would literally bike around. It was in the summer, I believe, and bike around and wait for this UPS truck. And anytime we saw brown, we would just pedal to the metal back home and then sit by the window and be like, is he coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? Because we didn't want to miss it. We wanted to see it, but at the same time, it was a catch-22 because I didn't want to see him drive away because that would have been depressing. But I also didn't want to not be there when he got to the house. So I think we did that probably about 4 or 5 days before it actually came. And then we played Mario Sunshine. But anyhow, GameCube, what a fun time.
And now for the best story of all.
don't set me up like that, man. All right, so 3DS. I don't know how this idea came into being, except somehow I was convinced by Zachary to dress up in the weirdest outfit I could possibly find. So I just grabbed the most colorful things I could find: yellow pants, blue collared shirt, purple hat, sunglasses. I put a Yoshi in my shirt pocket.
A pillow under your shirt.
A pillow under my shirt to make me look a little bit chubby. And I decided I was going to use a French accent. And this was going to be my character to go pick up Zach's 3DS. It wasn't even mine. So we got in the car late at night. Me, Noah, and Zach drove to an outdoor mall. It was fall or winter, so it was pretty chilly outside. And we were walking around to go to the GameStop. And I was nervous a little bit to walk in there dressed as this goon and use this totally horrible fake French accent and pick up this 3DS that wasn't even mine. And, of course, as soon as we turn the corner for the final home stretch to get to the GameStop, there's a security guard walking around. And I got so nervous that he was going to tell me to leave or take me to jail or something. So I kind of just froze. And he came up and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, I totally dropped the French accent. It was just I'm just going to pick up 3DS at GameStop. And I just decided to dress up. And he's like, "Oh, that sounds fun. I'm just bored, so I wanted to see what you were doing." And I was like, "Oh, phew, not getting handcuffed."
And just to interject real briefly, this was the very raw early days of YouTube where you didn't make videos with a bunch of quality or some super early access. You just did weird crap dress up like Francois the Frenchman, right, and send your brother to pick up the 3DS. Now I will admit that I sort of Jake's guts were a lot greater than mine because I didn't even want to go in the store. So we we recorded it over your phone. I think.
So I put my iPhone in my shirt pocket to record the audio.
Oh yeah, and I recorded the video on my phone from the window.
From outside. And then you got so scared during mid-conversation that you just ended it and the battery died. But the weirdest part, I had this interesting conversation with him, and it's up on Zach's other channel.
We'll interject. We'll put some of it now.
We can, as soon as he's done telling the story, we'll interject it at the end of this video so you guys can know exactly what he's talking about. We'll have a small clip. Okay. And there'll be a link in the description so you guys can check it out.
For the full video, you can see my outfit and hear our conversation. Anyways, we're having this great conversation about Yoshi and playing Smash Bros. Together and all this stuff. And then the crux and the climax of the conversation comes when he asks for my ID. And it's under Zach's name, and I just told him my name was Francois. So there's all these variables that just none of them are correct at all. And he's I was I just stumbled over my words and decided to go with that I left my ID in the car, and luckily he took the bait and he was like, "Oh, it's okay," because he was so whatever friendly and into our conversation that he let it slide and gave me the 3DS without checking my ID at all. But I told him I was Francois. Or no, I didn't tell him I was Francois.
So you said you're me.
Yeah, I just said he asked he just called me Zach, and I was okay, I guess I'll just go with it. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience. A little nerve-wracking, but it was definitely worth it to get that audio and put it on Zach's channel. Yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I kind of want to do it for the Switch now, or do something similar.
We will, and we'll film it with a better camera. So.
Okay.
And I won't be as wimpy and run away. There's no one else even in the store. We were the only people picking up the pre-order.
Yeah.
Oh no, and I'll be there, so there definitely will be no wimpiness allowed.
Yeah, Gabe will grab you and hold you in place.
But it was a real fun moment, and probably like as dumb as it sounds, like the only like goofy thing we ever like. I mean, only like not rambunctious, but like only kind of like
not even devious. What's the word?
yeah, like mischievous thing that we ever did in our lives.
No, I mean, yeah, but then you had Noah, our younger brother, unbox the 3DS, so you didn't even touch the 3DS for like the first like day.
Yeah, and the
just
best
refused to touch.
You just made us do it. We were like your minions.
No.
You're just Gru sitting in the background.
I was giving you, I was putting you on stage. I was giving you a chance to show your stuff.
Oh, okay.
Noah did a really good job though, except he ripped the box and like had this knife and like he was calling things that he kept calling it the 3D DS. Like, we are here with the 3D DS.
Oh man, I can imagine that.
But yeah, and like the Wii launch was fun. I remember getting in the morning and being really excited about Twilight Princess and impressed with the motion controls. The Game Boy Advance launch was fun. Got our moms to take us early to Toys R Us and then went to GameStop because they were having a trade-in where you trade in your Game Boy. A pretty bad trade-in, frankly. Trade in your Game Boy Color and get a free Game Boy Advance game. At the time, we didn't have a lot of money, so it felt great to us. But like
I still wish I had my yellow Game Boy Color.
Right, like in hindsight, like trade a system in for a game does not really seem like that good of a proposition. But that was a great launch day. Super Mario Advance, Rayman Advance, and the legendary Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for GBA. I don't remember anything Super Nintendo launch. Way too young. And same with the Game Boy Color. Wii U launch, I was in California, and that was pretty uneventful. That one, again, was a morning launch, which was weird.
Yeah, they do that. I was able to get my Wii U like at midnight from a Walmart, but it was super uneventful. Nothing fun happened.
Yeah, so hopefully the Switch will be all sorts of eventful. Maybe we'll dress up as a trio of terrible dudes and have some fun.
Yep.
I do think, though, that this is one of the most hyped Nintendo launches and will be one of the most exciting, because there is genuine enthusiasm behind the system and behind the idea, as opposed to, like, Wii U, sure, new system, people are excited, but, like, the launch lineup didn't really impress anyone. I mean, there are going to be people there who want the Switch, and there are going to be people there who are just there because new Zelda's out. And so I think there's going to be a lot more fervor and excitement and enthusiasm and, like, just good vibes for mid-March.
I think we should just set up a table and do a live podcast and just like interview people in line and commentate.
One of you used to do that a lot.
Okay.
Like at launch things?
Yeah.
Just go down the line of people waiting and ask them questions. Just commentate on what people are wearing.
Okay, we'll definitely manage to do that.
All right, so those are our launch stories. Let us know in the comments any fun launch stories that you have, or maybe your favorite launch of Nintendo's catalog. Even if it's for a game and you have a fun story, let us know. We'd love to hear those and read those, and maybe we'll even compile some of them if there's enough for a future video. But until next time, everyone, from myself and Gabe and Jake, we cannot wait till the Switch launch. Now I'm getting all nostalgic and all excited, and March cannot come soon enough. Until that time, though, everybody, thanks again. Switch Force out.
Oh, look, I think we're going to find it. Look, it's called the GameStop. And I think this is where 3DS is being held.
Hey man, how's it going?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
I'm here to pick up the 3DS.
Okay. And let me just see that receipt here.
There you go.
Thank you. Right. It's an interesting outfit you got on there.
Thank you. I love the Yoshi.
Hey, I like Yoshi too, so it's all good. Oh, darn, I didn't have my Yoshi on here. Dang.
Oh, it's okay. We make a complete set. What is this Little Big Planet 2?
Little Big Planet 2? Actually,
Yes.
it's an awesome game that's out on PS3, the PSP.
What do you do in it? What kind of game is it?
It's kind of like a game that you create your own levels for it. Basically, you just make your own activities. Your friends can play your levels.
Really?
You can play their levels.
That's
Yes,
quite
really.
interesting. Create your own game, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, and you are getting a black 3DS, correct?
Of course.
Okay.
Black.
That's number 9. We need number 15. I think you want to pick up any games with it
Oh,
tonight?
yes. The fighting game.
The Super Street Fighter?
Yes, street fighting. Yes.
Okay.
I hear it is very good.
It is actually very good. I just got done playing it a little bit earlier.
Are you very good at it?
I'm not the greatest, but I was playing it at hardest, and I was doing pretty good on it. So.
Oh, that's very good. Maybe I should come by and we could play sometime.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, then all you owe is $2.60
Oh wait, I am a member here. So, here's my
Go ahead
card.
and get that scanned in.
Do I get any special prize?
You'll get plenty of points. You
Oh
actually
yes.
get bonus points
I
for
love
picking
my
up your
points.
pre-order.
I love my points.
We love points too, so it's all good. Right, you can pay by card.
Yes.
Should be all set for you. You can go ahead and swipe through there.
Okay.
I just need the last 4 digits off your card. If you don't mind, can I just double check an ID real quick?
Oh, I left it in the car. Oh no. Do I have to go get it?
You don't have to. It's just I do want to make sure that you are you.
Is it okay? I just was so excited I forgot.
It's no
And I
problem.
parked way over there.
It's no problem.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
let
you so
slide.
much.
Hey, it's no problem at all.
Brad, you're my best friend now.
Zach, you're my best friend.
Yes.
I just need to have you sign that real quick for me.
Yeah, it's quite hard to sign with these gloves on, but it's so cold I cannot take them off.
No joke. Yeah, I was
freezing out
I
there.
was out there smoking a cigarette earlier, and my gosh, I was freezing my butt off.
Terrible.
And I'm sure you know about our super fun surveys at tellgamestop.com. Just let them know how we did for you.
And I will tell that Brad is awesome.
Awesome.
Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Brad is awesome.
I would appreciate that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice night, man.
You too.
He found it! He found it!
I got it 3 years.
He
Very
found
excited.
it!
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Do the jump. Do the jump. Do the jump. We got it.
Swap!
We got it. Oh yes. We got. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. My belly is very hungry for some 3 years.
Oh,